Hey everyone, I'm Hazel West, and today I'm going to do a winter reads recommendation video for you guys. So I kind of wanted to do a just a Christmas recommendations video, but thinking about it, I actually really didn't have any to recommend. I don't do I don't actually read a lot of Christmas books. Not that I don't enjoy them. It's just that I'm not usually into the kind of books because usually they're just like fluffy romance stories. Like, I enjoy ones that authors I write, like for a series or whatever, but apart from that, I'm not really into them. Like, when it comes to Christmas media, such as it is, I prefer like my favorite Christmas movies or watching um, the Christmas episodes of all my favorite TV shows. So um, I decided to kind of go off what other people have been doing on in the book blogging universe and do more of a just a cover winter reads instead of like just Christmas reads. So the first couple I'm gonna do are actually kind of the only like really Christmassy sort of reads um that on this list, and that's because they are my these are two that are cozy to me because I grew up reading them. So, and I think they're fun. They're just nice reads to curl up with on a cold day with a hot cup of chocolate. So the first one is Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Um, this was one of my absolute favorite childhood series. I still enjoy them a lot, and it's just such a nice, cozy read. And Christmas happens in this story too, so you have some Christmas feels and just some family stuff. And whenever I read these now, it always makes me feel like a little kid again. So I enjoy reading them, and that's the kind of thing I like when I feel like a cozy winter read. And any of these books are really good for that. Um, I'd probably recommend this one or Farmer Boy the Highest by her. The one after that, in the same strain, is Eight Cousins by Louisa May Alcott. Louisa May Alcott is another one of those authors that I really think all of her books are good winter kind of, holiday reads just because they're cozy and nice. But this one is one of my absolute favorites because I love Rose and I love all her cousins and Uncle Alec and all that. And this one is just so funny and it's such a good story. And there's like some wintry bits in it too. And it's just overall, I love this story so much. And if you haven't read it yet, I think you probably should pick it up. So, those are my only conventional ones. I'm hoping to give you some atypical winter recommendations so you can kind of try something different if you feel like that. And one of my favorite genres to read during winter for some reason is actually horror. And anyone who knows who follows my reviews knows that I'm a pretty big horror fan, and especially ones set kind of like in cold and desolate places. Excuse me. Um, so the first one I have in that category actually is one I don't own, but it is The Dead of Winter by Chris Priestley. And this one is just a really, really awesome gothic classic horror story. And it's set during the Victorian era in London, or not in London, but in England. And it's about a boy who is sent to a manor house on the moors um, in the winter. And there's also there's also Christmas in it, so it can technically be a Christmas story. But so he goes there and it's owned by this really creepy old guy, and there's like really dark secrets and ghosts and stuff there, and it's just a really cool, really awesome gothic novel. And it's one of those that is like it's really short, so it's perfect for an afternoon of reading if it's too cold to go outside or you don't want to go outside and you just want to be home with hot chocolate and just read. So that one is very good if you're looking for something a little different. In the same strain, I also have to recommend At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. This one is about his it's about a group of explorers who go to Antarctica and find the remains of an ancient civilization that wasn't human, which was really creepy, and also what possibly could have made it deserted, which was even worse. So it's really cool. His writing style is so atmospheric that not only do you want to get a parka on, it's just really overall creepy. And if you're looking for like something to scare you this winter, then that's a really good story to start with, I think. And the final one in the horror category is The Secret Journeys of Jack London, Book 1, The Wild, by Christopher Golden and Tim Levin. This is one of my absolute favorite series, so underrated. No one ever knows about these. But essentially what they are this is about Jack London, and the authors took it as kind of like they took kind of like some of his autobiography and made it into a supernatural adventure. So it's kind of Jack London's actual story, life story with a twist, and it kind of like they did this one, they did the Sea Wolf, and they did one on White Fang that I haven't read yet. But this one is I think is my favorite. It deals with when Jack London was up in the Yukon looking for gold, and it also has traces of the Wendigo legend and traces of some Russian folklore too, which was really awesome that you don't get to see a lot of. So this was such a good book. It's so creepy. It's just a really good adventure story, a really good supernatural adventure story, and I love this series so much. So I hope everyone will be able to find this and pick it up because it's definitely worth reading. Okay, so moving on to my final category of what I think makes good winter reads is fantasy. I love reading fantasy, but I kind of like reading certain types of fantasy too during winter, either ones that are based around like kind of wintry things or ones that are just kind of fairy tale-ish. And so the first one I have is Entwined by Heather Dixon. This one is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. I think a lot of this actually happens in winter because for some reason I think I read it in winter and there is wintry things, so it's kind of stuck with me as kind of a good winter read. Plus, it's just a nice, like, it's an adventurous and magical story, and the characters are so great. I love them all. There's also some creepy things in here, like the Goblin Kingdom or whatever it is that they go to dance in this one was so creepy. Like the keeper, really creepy. But so this one is it's one of my favorite retellings apart from Jessica George's, but this one is another really nice Christmas read or winter read to read because it's just kind of magical and it's kind of nice for the season. After that is the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, or you can just start it if you haven't read it yet with Shadow and Bone. This one is based off Russian folklore and stuff, so it makes a really good kind of like wintry read. A lot of it's set in the cold, and it's just kind of like cool and atmospheric, and it's a really I think I think I actually read this one for the first time in the summer, which kind of ruined it, but I would have loved to pick this up and read it in the winter. I think it makes a really great winter read if you're looking for some fantasy. If you have already read it, maybe try Six of Crows because that would also be a really good one. It's just I think the Grisha trilogy even more so, but both of them would be good if you haven't read Six of Crows yet. Another really underrated book I have on this list is Witchlanders by Lena Coakley. Probably underrated mostly because she's only written 2 books and is not a very popular author. But I love this book. This was not only like a really good like sibling book, but it also had a really good brotherly friendship between the 2 main characters. Um, it's been so long since I read this actually that I really need to reread it again because I don't remember much of it. But it is a really cool fantasy. Um, the the magic in this is based off music, which is super awesome. I love that, and no one really does that. And it's it's just really neat. I love this one so much, and I think anyone who like wants a new and different fantasy novel to pick up this winter should definitely try this one. After that, we have Icefall by Michael J. Kirby. This one, Matthew J. Kirby. I knew I was going to get that one wrong. This is, it is a pseudo fantasy. It's not like super fantasy esque. It's just kind of more like an alternate history with a Norse like people. But this is a really good feeling story. It's kind of a coming of age story about the main character who is a young girl in the Viking colony. Um, and it's just there's so much I loved about this one, just as a character study, and just as a the world building experience. It's the best book I've read by Matthew J. Kirby. I think this actually made one of my favorite reads of the year I read it. So I really enjoyed this one, and it's definitely a good winter read. Plus, it has these it's pretty inside. Like it has kind of Norse patterns in there, which I like. I don't know why. It just it kind of just makes it feel more Norse like. But this is such a fantastic book, and I think you guys should pick this one up as well. And the final book I have on my recommendations list for you is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This one, there's only some places in it that are actually set during winter, but for some reason The Night Circus, maybe because it's all in black and white, just really felt like a wintry kind of thing to me. And I would love to go see it in winter if it was real. That would probably be my choice of venue. And but either way, it's like a really neat, fantastical world, and I think those are perfect for reading about in winter. And it's just I think definitely if you have not picked up this book yet, you should do it this winter at some point because I think it'll be even better if you read it when it's kind of cold outside and you have coffee or tea or hot chocolate with you. But I think that definitely this one is great winter read. So, and those are my 10 winter recommendations. Let me know what you guys like to read for your winter reads or even Christmas reads. I'd like to get some other suggestions for winter reads to read in January, and I'd like to know what your guys' favorite ones you read this year are, if you'd like to share. So, that's all for now, and I'll be back after the new year. So I hope everyone has a really great Christmas or happy holidays to the people who don't celebrate Christmas, and or just happy winter, whatever, happy winter solstice to the fairies out there who this is the unseelie time. So sorry, I always on the fairy calendar, so but anyway, I hope you guys have a great whatever. So and I hope you have a great new year as well. And that is all for now. And I also wanted to show you my hold on, let me see if I can get the camera. My book tree, which has been on my blog, but it's my book tree. I call it my it's like an upscaled Christmas tree or something. or processed Christmas tree. But anyway, um, so Merry Christmas, guys, and I'll see you back in January. Bye.